Hello, in this video we are going to get a webcam up and running on your Android device using Unity. So without further ado, let's get started after the fade. So we start off here because my recording died on me and I had to reproduce this. Okay, so this is a raw image here. I dragged it out and I made sure that it was as square as possible. And I tagged the anchors up to the top here because I want to scale it with the vertical height as well as the width. I created two buttons, one called Switch Camera and the other one called Start Camera. So that is pretty much the UI that we have at the moment. All right, let's add some scripts. So go into the scripts folder, create, and then we're going to call this one webcam. And I'm going to create a blank object in the scene. And I'm also going to call that webcam. And I'm going to attach that component down here. So I'm going to drag that across here, and that's going to add our webcam there. And then I'm going to double click. So now we have our script here. We need to create two public functions for each of the oh, my brain's going today. We need to create two public functions, one for each of the button handlers. So we got public swap cam clicked, and then we want another one void start stop cam clicked. So these are our public event handlers. So swap cam clicked and start swap cam clicked. Okay. And then we have our current camera. So we don't have anything selected just now. Or do we? No, let's start with the first camera here. Okay, so swap cam clicked. So for this, I'm going to assume that we have a camera attached. So either we have a webcam attached or we have multiple cameras attached. If we don't have cameras attached, then the value inside here is going to be 0. So, or the value inside this property I'm going to show you is going to be 0. So you can check it. So we could do, like, I will do the code, but we're not going to have it in the code. We're just going to assume later on in the code, just to make it, this code that we're going to do a little bit easier to manage. So if webcam texture.devices.length equals is greater than 0, then what we want to do is current cam index plus equals 1, and then we want to clamp it inside this value. So this is our check to make sure that we actually have a number of devices. So we're not going to have this in a finished code. I'm just about to take it out, but this is sort of how you would do the check. Texture.devices.length. Okay, and the reason why I'm saying that you really should check this, if I add, let's just leave it in, is because if length is 0, you're going to end up with a divide by 0 error here if this happens to be 0. So it's probably a good idea to have it in there. So our swap cam clicked is going to change between the different devices there. So if you have multiple webcams connected, so the iPhone, for example, the iPhone 7 has, I guess, 3 cameras. There is the front-facing camera. There are, sorry, the 7 Plus. There's the back-facing cameras because there's actually 2 of them. There's the short distance, and there's the telephoto distance one. So you could switch between those values. I don't have an iPhone 7 Plus to test. I have my trusty Android device here, but I don't have a 7 to test. But I'm assuming because there are webcams, you can enumerate through these here. Okay, so then we have to take into consideration our StartStop Camera. We can get rid of start and update because we don't really care about that. I want to keep a handle on the current texture. So I'm going to call it text. But I also need to have a reference to my raw image because I want to be able to set this texture in the raw image. So I need to do public raw image, and then this is going to be display. And you see we have a red squiggly there, and that's because we need to add our UI namespace. So when we start stop cam, we're going to say webcam device equals devices, and then it's going to be current cam index. So that's going to get as our device. And then the device itself actually has a lot of properties as well. So device dot, and then you see that it's got is front facing. You can check to see if it's, you know, if you want to test it to make sure that it is front facing, then you can show the front facing icon. If it's not, then it's rear facing, therefore you can show the rear facing icon. So you can check these these items, but you don't really need to get that information. So webcam texture equals new webcam texture, and then you specify the device name in here. So the device name is going to be whatever the device name is, so we specify the device there. But of course I said that I want to keep a reference to that, so I actually want to use text rather than that there. And then I want to set the display to be this image here. So I want to say display dot texture equals text. But I think I actually want to keep the old device around as well. So no, I don't want to do that. I actually want to just check to see if text already exists. So if text is not equal to null, I want to stop it. So the webcam has got these start and stop methods against them. So I want to stop the webcam, and then I also want to set the display texture to be null as well. So I want to stop that there, and then I want to say text equals null. I just want to clear that out there. So if we have a texture, I want to turn off the display. I want to stop receiving information from the display, and then I want to just clear the texture file there so that it's ready for the next one here. So and then we come in here, we get the current device name. We create a webcam texture based on the current device name. We apply that new texture, that webcam texture, to the texture property of our raw image, and then we do text.play, and that starts the camera. So that starts the camera. But this is a start stop, so I want to do else here. So if I have a camera, I want to set that to null, I want to stop it, and then I want to set the texture to null. Otherwise, I want to grab the current device and I want to start it. Okay, I think we're about ready. So we have our webcam here. We still need to do some cleanup in the UI, but I think for the most part we're okay. So it needs a raw image here. So we have our raw image and we drag it across. And then we run this. And we start the camera. But of course I can't start the camera because I'm actually recording. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording the OBS, the program I'm using, and I'm going to use the webcam to then record this next bit. Okay, so just bear with me for a second, all right? Okay, so what I forgot to do was I actually forgot to set up the event handler, so we'll do that right now. I'm going to add new event handlers here, and I'm going to choose the object, which is going to be webcam. Then I'm going to choose the function, which is going to be swap cam, and I did that for both because it actually makes it a lot easier to go in here and then just change this one function. And then this is StartStop Cam there. Okay, so I'm going to save my scene. I'm going to move the inspector back here. So now when we run this and I click on Start Camera, we should have, and hopefully you'll be able to see this, so now I'm actually here. Hello! You'll be able to see that I'm talking just now, and there's a little bit of a lag, but that's, you know, what can you do? It's the webcam. And so when I click on Stop Cam, it should stop the camera. So let's see if that works as well. Okay, so the camera is now off, and if I click Start Camera again, we're back in business. Okay, so now what we can do is we can tidy up the UI a little bit, and then we can get started on making an APK and getting it running on our phone. So some tidy up things that we need to do. We need to change a couple of ways that we do things for our webcam. All right, so first thing, we want to be able to change our start camera to say stop camera if we have it running. So we want to do public text start stop text, and start stop text is going to change depending on what we're doing here. So if we're starting the camera, then we are going to say that the text equals stop camera. Sorry, that's us clearing it, so we're going to do start camera there, because this is us stopping. So there you go. Hopefully that'll make it a little bit easier, certainly on me. And then we want to change that to stop camera. So we have our start and stop camera. I also want to do it so that if we happen to have the camera running, when I click on swap cam, I want it to flick off the camera, swap the cameras, and then turn it back on again, because that's a nice feature to have, rather than when you click on swap cam, then you've got to stop the camera and all that kind of stuff. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to refactor some code here. So if you highlight this, and then I want you to quick actions, and then change that to extract method, and then we'll call this stop webcam. And then we can do the same thing for here, which is going to be, well, no, it's okay, we can leave that there. But what we want to do is we want to check to see if it's not null. So if it's not null, we're going to stop the webcam, and then we're going to stop it again. So if not null, stop the webcam, start the webcam. So oops, if text is not equal to null, stop the webcam. And we already have most of this functionality done inside here, so we might as well just keep it inside here. So if the texture is not null, then we stop the webcam and then we start the webcam. Okay. Because what's going to happen is that we're going to call stop webcam here. That's going to set our display to be null. It's going to clear our texture. And then when we call this, it's going to say, is texture not equal to null? So it won't do that. And then it will do this bit in here, and it will do the current device because we've already changed the current device. Sounds good. And then we have our start-stop text to change as well, which is inside here. So this is our text component. So I want to do webcam, and then I want to drag that text component across to here. And then that gives us our fully functioning webcam. Okay. So from here, let's make the background a little bit darker as well. That kind of color. That's a nicer color. Okay, and I'm going to build settings, and then I'm going to build this APK. So build, and this is webcam, and I'm just going to call this a new folder called Android. And I'm going to call this Webcam Example, and I'm going to save it. A bit weird on this one, but basically what I'm going to do is I have my Android here, and I'm going to create another window. So this is my development kit over here. So I have this other window here. I'm going to drag and drop my webcam example into here. And now inside my Android, I then tap webcam example. It says, do you want to install this application? Click on install. App installed, click on open. It says allow webcam example to take pictures and record video. I'm going to allow that. And then hopefully you can see this here. I have said this is the wire is connected so that we can actually see things. Move from the road. Not sponsored by M&M. So okay, so this is the webcam application here. So if I start the camera, fingers crossed. Oh, there you go. So you can see that on my screen here. Now you notice that it's actually upside down. I'll move over. Yeah, I'll move over here so I can place it on here. So you notice that the screen is a little bit upside down. If I tilt it that way, then it's still upside down. And if I switch cameras, you see that it's now gone to our front face camera. Hello! And if I switch that, then it goes to our back face camera. So all of this is done inside Unity. So this is, sorry, I don't know what camera to look at now. All of this is done inside Unity. So I mean, it's fairly trivial to set this thing up, but we do need to fix that issue with our display there, because we need it to be flipped somehow, and we'll figure that out in just a sec. So we can click on stop camera and it stops. So if I could interject for just a second here, the problem is that we have our image, which is actually facing this direction here. Now there is a way to get it, and basically there is an orientation property for the camera. So what we need to do is we need to rotate it back into that orientation. so that instead of having that way around, we actually end up with it having it the correct way around. So we end up with our picture appearing there. And the property it's going to give us, let's say it's 270 degrees rotation, so it's a clockwise rotation, so it's going around that way, so clockwise rotation. So if we take our rotation and then we subtract it from 360 and then negate it, so we end up with 360 minus 270 is going to give us 90. So we want to make that negative 90. So if we rotate on the z-axis, which is this axis here, negative 90 degrees, that means that we're going to rotate it back round that direction. So counterclockwise direction, 90 degrees. That should give us the correct orientation. Anyway, back to the code. So if we go in here, we want to flip that camera around, so we can get that from here. So our display texture is going to be there, but we want to find out what the rotation is. So here's our video rotation angle. Returns a clockwise angle in degrees, which can be used to rotate a polygon. So we want to do the negation of that. So that's going to be our float, and then it's going to be anti-rotate, for lack of a better word, is going to be 360 minus text.video rotation angle. And then we want to negate that as well, so we want to take the negative of all of that, so whatever the negative of 360 minus whatever that is. And then we want to rotate it back along the way. So our display dot transform dot rotation dot Euler angles is going to be 0 on the x, 0 on the y, and then it is going to be anti-rotate on our axes. Of course. Need to turn in, and then we're going to have to specify our Euler angles separately. Equals, and then it's going to be all this. Alright, there you go. So now we have our rotation. And again, I've kind of lost audio here. Sorry, apologies for the audio quality. I'll fix it in just a sec. Okay, that's probably made it worse, but never mind. Okay. Alright, so we have everything there, so our rotation is there. Yeah, let's try and build this again, and then let's see if that fixes our problem. Okay, so I'm going to build, I don't want to build and run, I just want to build. So I'm going to build, and I'm going to build to my webcam example, and I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to bring back my folders again. Where are my folders? And I'm also going to delete I'm going to uninstall that from there. Okay, so that is that built across. So I'm going to drag this onto my drive here, copy and replace. Okay, so again, got our phone here. Might as well get rid of this, and I will finish that up there, cancel. Okay. Talk to amongst yourselves. I'm going to get my recording program set up. Webcam install. Okay, so I go to my file commander, and these are my movies. I don't want my movies. I want to go to here, and I want to go to dev. I want to install my webcam, and I want to click on install. And I want to open it. I want to allow. And then I'll move over here so that I'm out of range. Okay, and so I now have my camera here. So hopefully when I click on Start Camera, then we should see it in the correct orientation. And that does not look like the correct orientation. Not to me anyway. Nope, still looks off. We have to do some debug. Ooh, I like a bit of debug. Okay. Okay. Let's kill everything here, except for that there. Oh, I need to kill the recording actually. Okay, so I'm going to go to project settings, editor, and then I'm going to choose any Android device and my compression to be JPEG, no, blah 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 blah, and then I am going to open up, and again hopefully you'll be able to see this on the screen if I get this right. I need to open up Unity Remote. Where are we? Unity Remote 5. Okay, so I've allowed debugging with this, so hopefully now see you gotta be careful with this. Right, let's bring everything back down again. Unity. Okay, Unity's back up, so hopefully I will click on this and it will just work. Oh, here we go. So you'll see that on there. So if I click on Start Camera, I've no idea what I'm going to get actually. That's a good question. Okay, could not start graph. So I'm getting these errors because it's actually trying to, I think it's trying to access this device on here. So anyway, alrighty. Well, I guess we'll need to do some further debugging. Okay, so after much faffing around in the forums, I found no solution whatsoever to my problem. So you can see that I have the application, which should be now on over here. And if I click on Start Camera, then I did get it round the right way, but at what cost to my sanity? There's a little bit of text down here. Says new text. That actually had debug information inside there, and the debug information basically sort of said, you know, what the angle was and all that kind of stuff. Uh, it was 0 for both cameras. So I have this image now the image that you're seeing just now, which is actually rotated 90 degrees. So if I actually go into the program, you'll see that what we actually have is we have our image rotated around here at 90 degrees. See, it's actually minus 90 degrees. And what that means, if I flip over here, and again, sorry for the sound again, I'm recording on my phone and I can't, like I'm using this and I can't do anything together at the same time. Anyway, if I click on switch, and again watch that side there, keep watching that side, you'll see that I am now upside down, which is not ideal. So this video is going on too long, so I'm gonna call it today. Anyway, I'll give you a bigger picture of Boba Fett holding my pen there. So yeah, I'm going to call it a day for that video, and we'll maybe come back to done. If you have any solutions to this, if you've solved this problem before, then let me know in the comments below. This is the first time I've ever used the webcam for Unity, and again, it seems typical for Unity. It gets you 80% of the way there, and then you end up tearing your hair out over the last 20%. So if you have any solutions for this, then please let me know in the comments below. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call that done. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was I think a fail. I think I'm gonna put this down as a fail. Sometimes these are more entertaining than the actual ones that we succeed in, but whatever. At the end of the day, it is what it is. And on that bombshell, thanks very much for watching, and until next time, catch you later. Bye.